Hey guys, Tim from Red Goat Garage here, installing a Flowmaster American Thunder series kit on a Tri-5 Chevy. So it's actually a 1955 Bel Air. So here's everything that comes in the kit. Pretty much everything you need, all the clamps, hangers, everything. This is a stainless steel kit. It's 2.5 inches in diameter, has the H pipe already welded in. And one thing you'll notice is there's two different mufflers there, and there's these canisters in the front. The canisters are actually a high flow cat, which I'll get into in a little bit onto why we're doing that and what they do and everything. So the mufflers, we chose these guys here. These black ones are what come in the kit, which is like a 40 series, and they are in a reflective muffler. We chose these guys an absorptive muffler, just to give it a little different tone and everything. Now the issue is going to be, you can see the this one is straight through, where this muffler has an offset to it. So that's one thing that we had to fight with on installing this kit. Now if we didn't change that, it'd probably been just a pretty much a bolt-in deal, but we ended up having to do a little bit of work to get it to fit with the new mufflers. First up here is you're going to have to remove the rear seat. You can see me pointing to the two ribs. This bracket, there's in the instructions, you'll see it, but where you measure down and stick it towards the outside area as much as possible. And then you'll drill holes and mount these little plates that have the bolts in there already. And then you mount the plates I was holding in the previous image on underneath the car. So you will have to remove the rear seat in order to install this kit. Then the other hanger is right here. So there's measurements to from the end of the frame rail forward, but trying to kind of show you here. There's the hanger, and so you mount, you go, I forget how many inches from the rear forward. Then you go up a little bit, and there's a picture of the hole, and it comes with these self-tapping bolts to mount these guys up. So not too terribly difficult at this point. Next step is going to be installing the pipes that go up and over the axle. So you can see it slides into the rear hanger, goes up and over the axle, and then it goes into these rear hangers that have an exhaust clamp built into them. So that kind of holds the front of these tail pipes. And yeah, there we go. You can see a little bit better shot of those. Next step was going to be to actually mount the mufflers in place. So here's where we did that. We just slid them into the tailpipes and tightened down those clamps, and they stayed in place pretty well actually. But you might need to put a floor jack under it. So as I mentioned, the offsets were different. So we ended up doing a ton of work. Not really a ton of work, but a bunch of figuring out. So I don't have a whole lot of footage of that, but you can see here in the top of this shot is the H pipe. Now what I ended up doing was cutting the H pipe and bringing these two long stretches out towards the frame rails, and that way at about 3 inches or so each, so that way they're in line with the front of the mufflers. And so I ended up re-welding in another section in the middle there to reconnect the H pipe. In the front, I had to, which I'll show you here in a bit, in the front I had to cut and weld the flanges where the exhaust actually mounts to the headers. So that's something that you'll probably have to take to a local shop, or if you have a welder and you're competent fabricator, you can do that yourself, which is what I did. But not the prettiest job ever, but it worked well. So here you can kind of see me welding up everything. So everything, there's a bunch of clamps in the kit, but I've never really exactly had the best luck with those. They work, but I've had them come apart or leak or whatnot. So I usually just fully weld everything up, and that's what I'm doing here. And you'll see too, right behind where I'm welding is those bulges in the exhaust, and those are the high flow cats. So that's not a California 50 state legal cat by any stretch of the imagination. Even a non California cat, it's not legal. But the reason we did that was two reasons. One is it lowers the volume of the exhaust, or the makes it not so loud, because this is just a cruiser, and plan on driving this car a lot, so we don't really want a loud exhaust on it. Two, it pretty much is going to eliminate most of the exhaust smells. So the plan with this car is it's going to be backed into the garage, kind of like how you see here. So that way the driver's door opens into the garage instead of up against a wall. And so I just, said, hey, let's throw these high flow cats on there. It'll quiet it down a smidge and help eliminate having a garage that's, really smells like exhaust. So, they're, like I said, they're high flow. They're not a very big cat, so I would imagine it might rob a couple of horsepower, but nothing that I'm too terribly worried about. Again, this is just a cruiser, a driver. It's nothing that I'm going to be drag racing or even autocrossing or anything like that. Just plan on road touring this thing. So, um, again, the kit was pretty straightforward. If we didn't use the different mufflers, we used the mufflers that came with the kit, it would have all bolted up pretty easy. The only thing that's left is in the front there when you go from the exhaust kit up to either your manifolds or your headers. There's a lot of different ways to go about that. So the kit includes a couple different elbows to help, snake it over to there. And I used them as well, those as well, to come up with the flanges and everything. So overall, really a great kit. I've used this would be the third American Thunder series that I've installed. I've installed one on my Chevelle, one on my wagon, and now on this car. So really happy with how they fit, the finish, and the sound of them and everything. So it's obviously very specific for this vehicle. So that way, everything tucks up nicely. Even further back out of the shot is a little the exhaust pipes rise up, so that way the e-brake cables can pass cleanly underneath. So really a nice kit that fits really well. I just kind of screwed it up once I did some different mufflers on it, but want to try these different mufflers out and see how they sound. Try to do something maybe a little bit quieter. So here's everything finished up. You can see the jump up on the exhaust there right here. That's for the e-brake cables, which I haven't installed yet. Don't mind my welds. I ran out of gas at one point and they looked kind of bad, but I filled it up. There's where I connected to the headers that we got from CPP and the full exhaust. Excuse me. Like I said, pretty straightforward. I missed one weld. That's where that H pipe is. But after this video, I went and did that. So here's the exhaust tips that come with it, and you can have those sticking out or tucked under, however you want. And I just kind of showing you here how everything, the fit and finish. So again, this kit is from Flowmaster, which you can get on Holly.com since that's the parent company, but that's where I ordered it from. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions, make sure to ask me and make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. We'll see you on the next video.